NFTs, AI, Bollywood activism. Your resume leads like tech avengers. What's the next frontier you're charging into?
We will stick to AI for now and impact for films. One thing is that apart from Bollywood, I've added Hollywood. So I hope that traction and that journey continues. So about American Warrior, every saint has a past, every sinner a future. And no matter what your yesterday was, your tomorrow will be different. Till you have life, fires of hope won't die. So there's always a tomorrow. Everybody can get a second chance and persevere.
There are some people who don't just live a life, and they leave a legacy. And our next guest today is exactly that, Priya Samant, a name that sparkles with vision, courage, and compassion. She's the woman who sat across tables with presidents and prime ministers, not to take selfies, but to shape conversations that can change nations. From the corridors of power to the heartbeats of communities, Priya has been a bridge connecting cultures, economies, and dreams. She's proof that diplomacy doesn't have to be dull, that impact can be meaningful, and that when a woman decides to change the world, she actually does. And trust me, in a world of blockbusters, Priya and her journey is the ultimate global superhit with no interval in sight. Please welcome the phenomenal, the inspiring, and the unstoppable Priya Samant.
Thank you so much. Guru.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
It is such an honor to have you in our podcast on this episode on Lighten. And our purpose is to bring success stories like yours to share with the audience, to ignite that spark of entrepreneurship, cutting across all barriers, whether it's geographical, monetary, psychological, and anything else. So you grew up in India and built your career across continents. So when did you get that feeling that you have the power within to make an impact on the global stage, which you're doing now?
Very good question. So I learned the art of entrepreneurship when I started my master's in the US. I came to this country 25 years ago to work in field of technology. I'm a technologist by training. But in 2006, when my first kid was born, I actually enrolled in a master's program in a very small private college in the Boston area, Cambridge College, where it really shaped the way, I looked at, learning more about, apart from the corporate world, that there's another world that exists of entrepreneurship. And doing that, they say once the bug of entrepreneurship bits you, it's very difficult to, do something else.
It's addictive.
Yeah. So my journey started. And that was the first time where I was always passionate about impact, because I grew up in a family where my family has been very much involved in social work, especially in the healthcare sector. And I have seen it growing up. So it's ingrained in my DNA, right, to do socially relevant stuff. But combining it with entrepreneurial endeavors is, what America is all about. And that's what I learned. And with my first startup that I started, it was also a for-profit social impact where we were using fashion as an economic tool for poverty alleviation. and my products were launched in select Whole Food stores nationwide, right? So that was my first brush with entrepreneurship, where I was making products that were environmentally sustainable,
What
socially.
product was that?
So I started a company, startup was called Earth Friends,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to make products out of remnants of textile waste.
Oh,
So the
okay.
products were environmentally sustainable, economically feasible, and socially responsible. And we were here in Texas as well, selling in Texas.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was, my first brush with entrepreneurship. And as the doors started opening, and social impact, how do you make social impact by using fashion as an economic tool? And that kind of gave me foray into larger American, organizations and other non-profit world, and my work spread, and that's where I started learning the ropes of meeting people and getting exposed to those networks, about getting more involved in socially relevant projects. Being an entrepreneur, I'm being a technologist, I also learned during the same time that data is going to play a very important role in years to come.
Yeah.
And that's how I decided to come back to the tech world, because I thought if you mix social impact and technology, it can drive even more meaningful change. And because I also come from a very creative background, like when I was in school and college in India, I did a lot of singing, I did a lot of theater, and I was very much inclined to that world also. So balancing
Yeah.
of academics and creative endeavors. And with that, because I grew up in Mumbai, as I said earlier also, that films and politics is ingrained in our DNA, if you're of an Indian origin,
Sure.
because, we are born with it, we love it, and we embrace it wholeheartedly. So with that, I was doing theater here in the Boston area with a group called Setu, a South Asian Ensemble Theater Unit. It's a 22-year-old,
Right.
non-profit doing phenomenal work. And I did theater with them. And because I have a strategic background, I also had this concept somewhere in my mind. I was seeing a lot of great movies that Indian cinema was making, and I thought, what I thought is the gap I saw is when you have a great star in that movie, right? That socially relevant content can see the day of light and also be successful on the international platform. But if you have great content, but not really, big stars, but great actors, still that movie cannot see the day of light the way it is rightfully designed to have that success. So I saw that gap, and fortunately, as stars were aligning, there was a film festival in the Boston area that was bringing this really great film as one of their showcase in 2019 called as Jhalki, which was directed by the National Award winning director Mr. Brahmanand Singh, which was dedicated to the work of Nobel laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, that won Peace Prize with Malala in 2014, the Nobel Peace Prize. And I met the director and I gave him some ideas, and he was like, "Why don't you come on the board?" I said, "I am a business strategic person at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah.
For me to come on the board, this should be something that is bigger than this film, bigger than you and me, and can have a shelf life of its own. Sustainability is very important for anything to become a viably successful initiative, right?" So I said, I have this idea of introducing the title called Impact Advisor in the films, and I would like to start it with Jhalki. And he took that chance he gave me that chance. He believed in me, right? I didn't come from film background, but he believed in me because he saw value. And he gave me that opportunity, and slowly and gradually the word spread. And it was sheerly through word of mouth that now, today, 2019, with 2 years of COVID, you say, I am going to be on my 10th film very soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
That's an amazing start.
Yes.
And social impact is very interesting. It also conflicts with money making.
Correct.
in the common understanding of social impact.
Yeah.
And there was in the days when we were growing up, there was this art movies, Shyam Benegal kind of movies, which are great movies, but they were not commercial successes. In fact, many of the stars were branded as, he's a art movie star, he's a commercial movie star. And when art movie stars came to commercial movies, there was this, okay, will he succeed? People like Amrish Puri, Om Puri, Nasiruddin Shah, just to name a few. I have a question on social impact again. I want to pick your brains on how do you balance it with actually making money, and that's so important. And making money legitimately is absolutely fine, and we're all here to make money. But social impact kind of takes away that uh, bandwidth to make as much money as a commercial movie, right? Or there's a commercial movie and you're doing a social impact message. How do you see social impact in contrast of money making?
So when you pose this question to me, you finish that sentence that that is what the perception is, right? Of how do
Correct.
you make.
Yeah.
But there are so many, and it's a very relevant question because generally when social impact or movies with socially relevant message are been made many a times, right from bringing producers on board and then getting distributed. It's a journey, right? Because it's a socially relevant concept with not the actual what you say, right? Masala, as we say,
Right.
right? That is
Yeah.
there. But right now, if you say the audience is becoming very, very, the audience is very content driven, right? They want to more focus their energies on socially relevant content where they can learn. And some of the success stories of the movies I have done, which were commercial successes, which had a great storyline, and it was because of the way the movies were made and the content is the Kerala story and the Kashmir Files, right? Both the
Yeah.
movies had a social message, what has happened in the past with the Kerala, with the Kashmir Files, and what is happening, with the Kerala story, the situation. So with movies like those, even though they had that message that had to be, which was impact driven, they were commercially successes at the box office. And I think more and more such movies are being made right now where audience is really really hungry for content that can not only entertain them for those 2 to 3 hours, but they can also take that message back home and become the ambassadors of change for their communities.
Right. So, do you see more and more emerging movie directors, producers embracing the social theme in even in commercial hardcore movies that are just entertaining?
Yes, I absolutely see that, and one such, while I was not associated with that movie, I hope someday I get an opportunity to work with that director, and I'm throwing it out in the universe. Anubhav Sinha,
Yeah.
his movie Thappad. You see, what a wonderful movie that was made, Tapsi Pannu's movie. And after that, he made, I think, Article 15, I think was that movie was there. Mulk. Such great movies have been made by the director, and amazing work. But they were all mainstream cinema,
Right.
which has really relevant message to share.
So, going beyond the portals of cinema. Sorry, going beyond the portals of cinema, you're also on the international stage. You play multiple roles. You're in the geopolitical environment. You are playing a big role in Indo-US relationship. You're leading several initiatives. You're also a tech entrepreneur, and your profile is indeed amazing. It's quite versatile. And do you see this social side of your personality and your value systems conflicting with some of the business priorities, with some of the things that you see at the highest levels? For example, when you go to United Nations to speak, uh, not all of that is translated into what it has to be. So, can you kind of speak to our audience about uh, what is the vision and what is the reality, and how do we plug that gap?
See, now it depends upon what exactly, which sector or which, area of our discussion we are talking. I go to this mostly United Nations and organizations like those when I'm talking about tech or social impact as
Right.
it relates to the movies. And my goal there is to see from a humanity lens or talking on cultural diplomacy, right? How we can, and tech
Yeah.
diplomacy, like how we can bring this together. And what I have seen is, of course, there is at that stature, there is always, difference of opinions, and there is always gap in understanding and perceptions. But what I think is, when you sit together and when you have open and honest conversations that can be which are debatable, right, they still lead to meaningful ideas in action,
Mm.
right, that can help us bring the right people to the table and resolve that conflict. Or if there is misalignment, that can be solved. And there is so much now, especially because I, from on the tech side, I come from I am I'm leading, I've co-founded a AI company. So there are a lot of stuff on the governance side or the
Right.
regulation side that has to be done. But these are all open conversations that can happen. And whenever I go and talk about films and stuff, it is cultural diplomacy. It's bringing people together. It's uniting people together across the borders, across the globe, and creating one community, one tribe through the lens of humanity.
So you see this immigration situation today. Uh, Maybe this temporary, we don't know, right? Now there are thousands of expats, overseas students coming into United States. Not necessarily Indians, other nationalities as well. There are very few people like you who typically come to do their post graduation, PhDs or whatever, take jobs and settle down. And you did the same thing, but you have uh, elevated yourself to a totally different plane in terms of the latitude of what you're doing. Now, can you kind of speak to our audience about how and what opportunity they can pursue when they go abroad? For example, United States, despite all the political headwinds we're seeing today, and politics is always fluid, right? Things change, convictions change over time. So, how do you like to uh, advise a bunch of students who aspire to be you today?
A very good question. So I came in this country in year 2000 to work. So I came on an H1 visa, and as all many of us have come, the journey has been the same. I have seen the market crash of 2001 when there was the dot-com burst,
Right.
and I have seen the hardships that come with it when you are just trying to sustain yourself in a country where you don't have a family support, right? We come from a value system in India where we have great family support and backing, but
Correct.
being here, I was independent. I was learning by myself, falling. Every day was a challenge, but I my I had made to my younger self at that time is because I was in my early 20s when I came here, is that I'm not going to go back home because I could not sustain myself. I will go back home saying that I had a job, but I chose not to build my career in this country. That was one, pact that I had made with myself, that I will not go back to India, that I could not
So
sustain
that
those
was a
hardships.
self-imposed condition.
That was a self-imposed condition on
Okay.
myself, and I worked very hard. I sustained the hardships here, kept my H1 visa. And long story short, as I said, I then, life happened. I got married, I had kids, and I started doing masters. And when I was doing masters, this new world opened to me in my graduate program that I was doing, of the entrepreneurship, the power of the networks. And
Right.
if you have ideas, you can really go out, because I had gone to do masters with a very rigid mindset that I'm in mid management. I want to, at a very young age now, I want to climb the corporate ladder. But when I came out of the masters, I had left the corporate world, and I was, I had embraced entrepreneurship
Yeah.
wholeheartedly, and that was what my focus was. So, to the students and to anybody who is aspiring to be an entrepreneur, it is not that we are still, every day is a new day with lot of opportunities, but also lot of hustle, right?
Yeah.
Because with a startup, you have to sustain, you have to raise funds, you have to do you have to maintain the competition. That's important. So is that you have to persevere, you have to be patient. It is not that you start today and you do tomorrow, you get tomorrow. It's a journey, and in this journey you will have a lot of failures and challenges than the successes, but that one success will be very huge,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
And all that hard work that has been put into, and the sacrifice after a point is not just yours, it's everybody that surrounds you and who means to you. They are also in that grind with you, knowingly or unknowingly. So I would say to everybody who is watching is that be patient, be very focused, cut the noise out and focus on what you're doing, and keep doing it, and right people are watching you, and they will find you.
What is interesting, Priya, is your entrepreneurship cuts across several tracks,
Yes.
right? Yeah, you're an engineer, you're a tech entrepreneur, you are playing at a global level,
Yes.
and you are seeking to create social impact, which also shows that there's a deep sense of purpose, right?
Yes.
And this is in parallel to all the day-to-day challenges which everybody faces, whether it's like in India they say roti kapda makan. Yeah, we all need to make a living, but it's a question of how do you build your life. And I think that is the question you've provided a great answer to. And end of the day, it's about carving out your niche in what you're passionate about, and that is hard, especially when you're outside your home country, where the headwinds are always more than tailwinds, right? In that context, you are also, in a way, a cultural ambassador of India in the US, and your social fabric is kind of very vast. And have you seen any conflicts here in prioritizing your social activities in conflict with your either professional activities or anything else? Are you kind of restricted by the system? How do you work around that?
So I'm very good in time management, very very good at it, and I can say it as as though I'm bragging about it, but I'm truly very good at it. So
Excellent.
being mother of two boys, now my boys are grown up, but being mother of two boys and managing the household, I cook every day. uh,
Wow.
I
Okay.
cook every day. I till my boys were till they came to high school, they used to get lunch every day from home. So I this is maybe because my mother was a working woman. I saw her growing up.
You might have picked it up from her.
Maybe I picked
Yeah.
it up
Yeah.
from her, but for me that is because making every day, as you said, right? You hit the nail, every day when I wake up in the morning, even today, I question myself that what is my purpose? Like, why I'm here. This is a story for some other day, but just for your day, I'm a miracle baby. And there is a story
Ah,
behind it.
okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You want
for
to share that?
me, I will share it one day,
Okay.
but and that is science. I
Right.
don't know, but I'm a miracle baby. So every time, every day is like, what is my purpose in my life? Like, have I achieved something that is making a change? Like, was I helpful to somebody? That is what drives me. Okay. And again, as I said, even in the tech side of the stuff that I do, I manage a portfolio within the company. Like, we have two product sides to the company.
Right.
I have picked the impact side of the stuff that I am managing, because I really, really want to make a change using AI to help farmers around the world,
Right.
and make this technology available to as many farmers as possible. So that is how I am driven. In anything I do, I try to find what is my purpose, and what did I learn, and did I create an impact in anybody's life, or any project that I have touched.
Very, very interesting. In fact, the way you manage with your time management skills
Yes.
and the breadth, width, and breadth you're covering
Yes.
in terms of your pursuits
Yeah.
are indeed amazing, Priya. One last question before we move to the rapid fire round is, if you had unlimited power today in the world, what would be that number one thing that you would like to change?
What I would like to change is the conflict that is happening around the world, right? Because I think conflict is the root cause of lot of calamities, and lot of unrest that is there. If we can resolve conflict and negotiate and bring peace, then there will be prosperity and harmony in the world.
Wonderful. You are truly, truly a peacemaker and a potential leader in the world. And we'll hear more from Priya about her time management skills and her multitasking skills. And your journey, Priya, I'm sure is going to inspire not only all the audience that are watching this podcast, including myself. I've been inspired by you for sure. And that's been a fabulous journey that you have had. And thanks for sharing that. I know we have limited time. Your life needs to be celebrated on a much larger scale.
Thank
And
you.
we'd love to have you back on our podcast.
Thank you.
But before I let you go, I have one short segment on rapid fire and
Sure.
we'll come back to you after a short break.
Okay.
Thank you. So, Priya, are you ready for rapid fire?
Sure.
You are? Okay, great. Yeah. This is my favorite round, and I'm sure our audience will love it as well. You invented the role impact advisor. Most people create jobs that sound fancy, but you created one that actually matters. Right? What was that light bulb moment for you?
When I saw the gap in how the films are made, where you have stars and socially relevant content, it can come and see the day of light on international platforms, but you have great actor and great content, it cannot come and see the day of light. So that gap I wanted to bridge.
You wanted to bridge the gap.
Yes.
Brilliant. You take films like Kerala Story to the US, organize power moves in 48 hours. What was your most impossible but nailed it moment?
To create the impact screening and having the faith of the producer and the director in me that I could do it and pull it in such a tight timeline.
And you did it.
And I did it.
Brilliant. NFTs, AI, and Bollywood activism. Your resume leads like tech avengers. What's the next frontier you're charging into?
We will stick to AI for now and impact for films. And one thing is that apart from Bollywood, I've added Hollywood. So I hope that traction and that journey continues.
Absolutely. Tell me about a time your moral compass freaked the room.
Oh my God. uh, What could I say? I mean, there are many such moments, but one thing is when I got an opportunity to be with young generation, and they were the ones who shared, their experiences. That actually, enhanced my knowledge, and that's beautiful because they are the future.
Sure.
So younger generation being very vibrant.
You're young too.
Yeah, but I'm talking teens.
Younger than you.
I wish I was a teenager, but I'm
Sure.
not.
So one last question. When people ask Priya Samant, what does she stand for? What is the 3-word tagline you're secretly aiming for?
Oh, 3-word tagline.
Yeah.
What Priya Samant stands for. It can be compassion,
Hmm?
diplomacy, cultural diplomacy, and tech diplomacy, and honesty.
Compassion, diplomacy, and honesty. Wonderful. On that note, you are already living those 3
Yes.
words in spirit and in deed.
Yes.
And what an honor to know you, Priya. And thank you so much for joining us on this podcast, Light to Lighten. I know you're here in Dallas for the premiere of American Warrior. Share a couple of lines about that movie. And on that note, we will have to conclude this podcast in the interest of time, but we'd love to have you back again.
So about American Warrior, every saint has a past, every sinner a future. And no matter what your yesterday was, your tomorrow will be different. Till you have life, fires of hope won't die. So there's always a tomorrow. And, everybody can get a second chance and persevere.
Don't give up. Everybody gets a second chance. And this is a world of hope, so well manifested by leaders like Priya Samant. Keep watching Light to Lighten, and we'll come back to you in the next episode.